In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this orange outdated pillow into something beautiful. I'm going to show you how to knit a pillow. And for this video, I just want to show you like recycling. This pillow was from my mom's couch. My daughter moved into my mom's apartment, so I'm just going to take off the button. And I'm going to show you how I make this pillow into something beautiful that my daughter can use. So first, we need to see what supplies we need. We're going to need our pillow. You can use a pillow form, but I'm just going to recycle this pillow because she asked me to do this project for her. I'm going to use almost 3 balls of yarn. These balls of yarn that I'm using are 28 yards or 8 ounces. So it's 24 ounces. I'm not going to use the whole thing, so maybe 22 ounces worth of yarn. I'm going to use a tape measure. I'm going to use scissors, and I'm going to use a lighter. So those are my materials. And to determine how many stitches to start with, first I measure the pillow, which this pillow is about 18 inches wide. And then I measure how wide is the yarn when it's looped. So this is about 1.5 inches, or you could do it in centimeters for a more accurate reading. It's about 50 centimeters or 4 centimeters, and you just divide the two. So 50 divided by 4 or 18 divided by 1.5, and I get about, if I do the centimeters, I get 12.5. That's 12.5 stitches. But I want to round up and add a little bit so that I have room on the inside. So I'm going to start off with a chain of 14 for this pillow. Just want to go over that so that you know how to figure out how long to make your chain. And when you're making your chain, the pillow now, when you're making the chain, you need to make your stitches wide enough to support these stitches. So I'm going to leave a very short tail because this tail is going to be on the inside of my pillow, and I'm going to create a slip knot by turning my working yarn on top of my tail and pull my yarn through. And I want to make my chain about 2 to 3 finger widths wide. So I said 14, so I'm just going to pull from the back to the front. That's making your chain. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's good to unball your yarn. Let me just unball some yarn. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm just going to bring my pillow back real fast to see how that looks. So here is my 14. There's my pillow. So it looks like it'll fit. And when I start off, I'm going to make this last loop a little shorter. I'm going to do my first stitch through the last one. Okay, so there's 14 plus there's 1 stitch here facing up. I'm going to knit through the top of each of these chain loops. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now I'm going to turn my chain over so that my loops are on the bottom facing me. I'm going to go over the tail because the tail is going to be on the inside, and I want to look for that first stitch on the bottom and pull my working yarn through that. So you're knitting through all of the tops of the chains and then all of the bottoms of the chain. So you can do 14 on the bottom for this pillow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So here is my first row. Now you don't really need to worry about counting rows for a pillow. You just knit until you think you're far enough, and then you put your pillow on the inside and see if you need to knit some more. You can always take out rows. But for a 16-inch pillow, I usually go about 25 rows. So for an 18-inch pillow, I'm thinking it's going to be closer to 30. So I'm just going to show you how I do my second row, and then I will be back when I'm ready to try the pillow. So this is row 2. I'm just going through all of the loops that I went through before, and you want to try to stay as close to the last loop as you can. You don't want wide gaps because you don't want to see through your pillow, and you want to make them all the same length. So don't knit too tight, don't knit too loose, or when I say too tight, don't make your loops too small. So maybe I'll show you 3 rows so you could see how it starts to shape into a pillow format. And when I get around the corner, you want to get real close. Pull those stitches close together. Need to unwind some more yarn. This is a very fast and easy project. And once you know how to make a pillow, again, get into the corner, pull tight, and you see how that's in the inside. Once you know how to make a pillow, you can make a lot of things out of pillows. My SpongeBob tutorial is basically a pillow with different colors and arms and legs and a face. So pillow is very useful. Pillow can also be used to make a purse. It's the same basic concept. So I will be posting a video on how I make a purse using not chunky yarn, but tubular yarn. Those make a really nice purse, but it's very expensive yarn. So I'm up to my 4th row now, I think, or I'm getting close to my 4th row. And like I said, with the pillow, you really don't need to count, which is great, unless you're doing some sort of a pattern. And now you can see it's starting to take the shape of a pillow, starting to look like rectangular. Coming around the corner here, and you see it's starting to take the shape of a pillow. So I will be back when I'm at about 30 rows. Again, for this pillow, it's going to take me about 3 balls of yarn. Now you can, instead of using a pillow insert, you can use polyfill. I used to do that when I first started. I do find good deals on pillows in bulk at walmart.com. I buy 16 by 16 inch pillows. I think I got about 24 of them for like $75. Of course, though, the 16 by 16, that takes a lot of yarn. That takes almost 3 balls of yarn as well. But it's a really good deal. Very cheap. And then the 12 by 16, they have a 4-pack for about $15, $16. So, so that's where I get my pillows from, my pillow forms. But my daughter asked me to basically reupholster her pillows so that she can get some use out of it. She moved into my mom's apartment about 2 years ago. It's in my house. And she inherited all of the furnishings and everything. So, so she wants new pillows. I will see you back soon. Welcome back. I just finished my first ball of yarn. This is how far I've gotten, and I just want to show you how I attach my second ball of yarn. First, I trim the 2 edges of my 2 yarns, and I take my lighter and I light the center of each. There's a little plastic thread that's on the inside. Blow out flame, push them together, and then once it cools down enough, I squeeze it so that it attaches the 2 yarns together, and look, you can pull it and it doesn't break. So now I can just continue to knit. So I will be back when I'm a little past 2 balls of yarn to see how close I am to having the pillow fit into this new, I'm going to call it a pillowcase, but it's really just a reupholstering of the pillow. So I will be back. Okay, so I think I'm close to finished. So I brought back my pillow that I'm going to be using just to compare. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert the pillow into my new case and see if I need to add any more rows. And it's fitting nicely. Start taking off screen so I can get it into the bottom better. Now you need to pull. There we go. Oh, it fits very nicely. So now that we know it fits and that we're basically done, I'm going to show you how to do the final row before you close it. When you get to the last row, you're going to make your loops long, at least 3 finger widths wide. So I'm going to do that with the pillow on the inside. Go all the way across. I'm going to use these loops to close the pillow. You can close it a different way. This is just the way I like finishing a pillow. And if you like the way it closes but not the way it looks, this could be the bottom of the pillow. But I like it. This is our last row. Flip over. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my loop, my last loop, put it over my next loop and pull my yarn through that. And now I'm going to take the back loop, the last back loop, matched up with the next front loop, put the one that's in my fingers on top so that I have all 3 loops on one finger, or 2 fingers in this case, and pull my yarn through to make a new loop. And I'm going to keep on doing that as we go across, front and back together, 3rd loop on the top, pull through, front and back together, loop on the top, pull through. A little hard to show you, so when you're doing it, this is going to probably be on your lap and it's going to be much easier. But look at how you have that nice braided look on the top. This is why I make them nice and long, so that I do this easier. Make sure that you're not skipping any. Check both sides. And soon we are going to be done with our pillow. Now I have 2 loops left. Put them together, 3rd loop on the top. Now I have 1 loop. Now I'd like to stretch this across. I'm going to cut about 6 to 8 inch tail. Put my yarn through the back of that last loop or stitch. Pull your yarn through. I'm going to turn my pillow over. I'm going to weave it into the back here about 2 times. And then I'm going to tie it onto close by stitch. Make it nice and tight. I like to make knots at the end of my pillows and blankets. Trim it off. And then I hide it on the inside just by going through stitches. So this is how the finished pillow looks. And it's like a nice braid on top, and I just really like that look. So this is our finished pillow. I hope you learned something. And one thing I forgot to tell you is I'm a righty. If you're a lefty, instead of starting on the top of your chain, start on the bottom so you can work to the right. I work to the left because my right hand is doing all the work. That's just the way I learned. But I think a lot of lefties work to the right. So instead of starting on the top, start on the bottom, and everything else is the same. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, check out my website or Etsy for other patterns that are unlisted. Thank you.